steak, tired of eating this pad thai.
Well, this is almost canceled. My name is Stafford.
And I'm Mike.
Georgia.
Yes.
Big DJ.
Thank you.
Australia.
Australia.
Couldn't tell
Both of us.
from the voice.
You couldn't tell?
No.
It's subtle, I know. No.
Nar? No, I love,
Sheena?
I love the
The
Australian accent.
nursing of the drink?
Listen,
No?
Yeah.
nursing?
Oh, yeah, you
nursing.
nurses?
We have Shanina, a globally recognized supermodel,
Thank you.
and also dear friends of mine that I've known for years.
Yes.
Shanina likes to put people in headlocks when she drinks. It's a little scary.
Sorry.
She's very strong. She's very strong.
She's strong.
You know?
Yeah, she is.
But
I don't actually put people in headlocks. It's how I persuade people to take shots. That's what
right,
you're saying.
right.
It's
Violence
a
is
gentle
always the
headlock.
answer.
Exactly.
You know, it's like
Okay.
it's just guiding you to the bar. It's, you know.
And we're here to talk about things that might get us canceled.
Hopefully not.
That's a joke.
We're going to
That's
push
fully
the
a joke.
envelope, and we're so glad you guys are here.
Oh, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Happy
Thank
to be
you.
here.
We're honoured.
Thank you.
Very honoured. Tell me, why almost cancelled? What's it about?
Why almost canceled?
Michael, you take this
I mean,
one.
I can guess. but-
All right. Well, look, I think that a lot of people in every industry have opinions,
Yeah.
and I think that this is a safe place to talk about those.
A safe place, and then you put it on.
Kind of.
Great.
You know,
Yep.
I mean, look, I just think there's a lot of things that need to be said and spoken about, and Michael and I are here to make everyone feel comfortable and talk about whatever they feel like talking about. You know, I think Michael and I are very big mental health advocates,
Important.
especially when it comes to men. I think men in general are not allowed to talk about their mental health issues because they're meant to be the rock, and you know it's not okay to talk about it. It doesn't make you as manly. But myself and Michael have had some mental health issues, and I think we want to make sure that we build a community around helping people with mental health issues.
Just to
I
create
think
a
that's really,
safe
I
space.
applaud you for that. It's
Oh,
really
yeah?
great
Yeah.
because
Thank you.
I understand what you're saying because I think the idea of men in society is meant to be the rock that you're meant to like bring home the bacon, and
Yeah.
considering like having a mental weakness is like a mental state process is like considered weak.
Right.
Which is
And-
bullshit.
Yeah.
It is absolute
is.
bullshit.
You're
Georgia.
human.
Bullshit.
Thank you.
To
We agree.
piggyback off that as well, I feel like little boys are taught that, oh no, you don't stop crying, you know, like that's how we were all raised, and so they're raised thinking, oh, it's not okay to cry, it's not okay to talk about my feelings, and then you know we all try to get in relationships, and we'll go, why won't the guy talk about his feelings? It was like literally little
Yeah.
boys were
Been
told
embedded
not
in
to.
us. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Do
I
not
love-
show weakness.
I love to over communicate, but there's a difference between communicating and then comprehending what we're communicating,
Yeah.
right? So it's like, okay, I'm going to communicate with you, but if you're not understanding what I'm saying, then the communication doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a son, and I think for me, my purpose is to raise him to express his feelings. That's really important.
That's great.
Love that.
That's really good.
And to not being emotional is not considered weakness or less of a man.
No.
I think it's
Exactly.
so beneficial for your relationships later on, especially with your partners, whoever that may be, like male or female, whatever it may be. But like it's important for relationships, even in your work relationships,
Absolutely.
to express yourself, because once you hold all those feelings inside, that's what creates the mental health
The explosion. Yeah.
where you don't have the time to express yourself or be open, and being seen and heard is really important as well. And yeah, I think, and communication is great. So if you're able to express yourself and show your emotions and talk about it, I think, to me, that's more of a man than anything.
Yep.
Whatever
Amen.
that
It's
means.
attractive.
You heard it here
Yeah.
first, folks.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, from a beautiful woman that like,
You know?
We think
being
it's hot.
vulnerable.
Talk about your feelings.
Oh my God,
Yeah,
it's
being
really hot. It is
emotional.
hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love
Be
that.
vulnerable. Be open with your feelings. But also, I think the biggest thing is like being able to understand what it is you're feeling. You know what I'm saying? Like you could be feeling sad or mad or whatever, but you don't know where it's stemming from. You don't know what you know what's bringing up these feelings. Why am
Yeah.
I feeling this way? And so you can walk around and say I'm angry, but if you don't know why you're angry or where it's coming from, because it's deeply rooted,
Yeah.
therapy.
That's great.
Therapy's
Therapy.
cool.
Therapy is cool.
Let's
Cool.
normalize
It's
that,
cool,
too.
isn't
It's
it?
cool.
Therapy is cool.
Yeah.
My therapy is the golf course, but yes, I agree.
But that's
You know,
expressing
mindfulness.
yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
I mean, look, I was in Florida last week to see my parents, and my dad was like, oh, let's go play golf. And we go play golf, and the guy that I got in the cart with was a retired therapist. And I was like, well, let me pick your brain through these 18 holes.
How cool.
I'm having girl problems. My relationships have not worked out in the past. And I'd like to fix myself because I do think I'm the root of the problem. So like, I'll admit that
Damn,
as a
that's
man.
real. That's
real.
Really?
I am secure
That's
with that.
real.
I am
Good for
secure with
you.
that.
I love you for that
You know,
because it takes a lot
I-
for somebody to be saying there's something. I think there's something wrong with me, or like because
It's definitely me, by the way. These girls were fantastic. As I get older, I realize that. Thank
Good
you.
for you.
It's okay.
You're
Yeah.
like,
But I
I'm the
understand.
common denominator. There's a repeating problem.
And
here.
that's what
Yeah,
I say
yeah.
is what is the common denominator? Myself. But anyway, so I remember watching an episode of your podcast, 80/20, and you both talking about fellatio with the dentist. Can you please talk about how that came about?
Ratio is hilarious.
not fellatio with the dentist.
Oh, not with
Your dentist.
sorry. Fellatio conversations with the
I was
dentist.
the context
Apologies.
is very important there because that did sound very X-rated.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
No, it's okay.
Shanina had, so look, to be completely transparent, we have a wonderful dentist. Her name is Ellie. She's from Santa Monica Dental. And she does such a great job of making content. Like, her content is enviable. She's very, very good at it.
Very good.
And Shanina and I just love this woman more than we can put into words. And we thought, anything we can do to help her, boost her up, because she's been so generous to us, we'll do that. So we wanted to get her on the podcast, but we were a little nervous that the episode could be dry because it's talking about teeth.
She's a dentist.
She's
Yeah.
a dentist.
Yeah.
But she's such an awesome human that we said to her beforehand, like, are you willing to go, like, push the boundaries a little bit here and talk about different things? And she said, yeah, I'll say whatever. Like, so we talked about all sorts of things. We talked about periodontal disease in men and women and that kind of thing. And that was a little triggering for people. They all came for me. And then Shanina saw this thing on TikTok, which was a statistic, well, not a statistic, but like somebody shared some information.
It was factual information.
It was.
And what was that factual information, Shanina?
I was like this on the pod. I'm like,
She was.
I was like,
I pushed her into
She's
asking
blushing
the
a little bit
question.
right now for the question.
What did
that-
you ask?
Is it true if you're in the dentist chair and you open your mouth, your dentist can tell if you've performed fellatio
Fellatio.
In the last how many hours?
within the day?
Wow.
Yep.
And what was the answer?
Yes.
No way. And how could they
Just from,
tell?
like soreness in the back of
The
throat?
palate.
We were curious. Yeah.
That's what I was
Yeah, yeah.
More softer palate, she said. Like
No. She said there was abrasions.
abrasions
on
on
the
it, and we
palate.
said trauma.
We thought didn't mask.
She said no. Dr. Ellie, excuse me,
said
said
Trauma in
It's like
your
trauma, and I said so. It's trauma
Yeah.
in the mouth, and she goes,
Mouth trauma.
and I was like,
Mouth
I don't
trauma.
want trauma in my mouth.
Yes, yeah. So, if you don't want to get busted by your dentist, make sure you abstain for 24 hours
Yeah.
before you go and have your
But
teeth
your
checked.
dentist knows so much about you through your mouth, like I was saying. Like it's like more than your therapist. Let's just say
No
that.
way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they can tell you eat, if you take care of yourself, if
Yeah.
like your sexual life in
Yeah.
some aspect. It's it's a lot.
That's new
Yep.
for me. I had no idea that your dentist could tell anything
think my
besides if you have
therapist-
cavities.
You have gum disease as well. Like
Yeah.
like I've had a baby too, and I was getting like really bad like sour bad gums. What's the word I'm looking for? Like
Gingivitis, like bleeding gums.
inflamed
Yeah.
gums.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
just
wow.
from pregnancy. Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
How was to go back to mental health? How was your postpartum experience after having your child?
Thank you for asking. It
course.
was, I think a lot of women can relate to my situation. It is a lot to take on after having a baby. Your hormones are just really confused and mixed up. You're just given life as well. So it's hard. My hormones were all over the place. My mental health was pretty bad, but at the time and the moment, I didn't know what was going on because I thought the normality was like, okay, I just had a baby. Women kind of get like that during their menstrual cycle. I'm
Yeah,
sure you know,
of
but
course.
it's times by 5.
But
by
just
10s.
don't say it to them during their menstrual
Don't tell it.
menstrual cycle.
Look, I mean,
Don't do it.
Shout out to women, by the way.
Yeah.
Carrying a child in your body
You're
for
creating something out of nothing.
it's insane. Like
essentially.
we as men love women. I mean, you guys birthed us, took care of us, provide for us. See how I'm learning?
Yeah.
I'm
Awesome.
getting there. I'm
Nurtured
getting there.
us.
You're very evolved.
I am trying. Georgia,
Yes.
you
Yeah.
you went through a traumatic experience with your brain tumor,
I
right? Can we
did.
talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so I was quite young when that happened.
How old were you?
They think it started to grow when I was about 15.
Wow.
Because that's when I started to experience changes in my health. But I was not diagnosed until my 23rd birthday.
Wow.
On my birthday. Wow. Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was a golf ball size, benign but aggressive tumor that was, this is such a gross way to describe it, but it's accurate. If you ran 2 skewers through my pupils and then 1 through my ears, it was right in the middle.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
So a pretty difficult one to access from like going around the skull. So how they get to it is they go up your nose.
Yeah.
And mine was quite large and wrapped around my carotid artery, which cut that, you're a goner.
Yep.
So it was difficult to remove. I had a brilliant surgeon, actually 2, doing the surgery. I had an ENT go up one nose with a camera, one nostril with a camera, and I had my neurosurgeon go up the other nostril, and they cut it into tiny pieces and took out as much as they could. There's still a little bit in there because they can't cut too close to the artery. But yeah, they pierced a sac of brain fluid while they were in there, which is quite common in this procedure. So they had to like suck some fat out of my stomach and stuff it in to to stop the bleed.
What fat? What are we talking
well,
about?
thank you.
Let's be honest.
The doctor
Come on.
actually,
Cut
it's
it
funny
out.
you say
Cut
that.
it out.
The doctor, I was cracking jokes as I was coming out of the anaesthetic because that's just my personality. And the doctor, oh God, I did so much bad stuff coming out of that anaesthetic. My dad was there and he's like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Dad, can you get me the blue crayon?" And so evil. Like, just don't do that. Like, so bad. Anyway.
But you learned how to DJ.
I was gonna say, did that affect DJing in any way?
Or your hearing or anything?
This is a
Yeah.
great story, guys. You have to
And
listen
don't
to this.
cancel me
Yeah.
for just doing that. I was playing a prank on my dad. Anyway.
Almost canceled, not
Yeah.
canceled.
It's
almost
Yeah,
canceled. Right.
but no, I said to the doctor on the way out of surgery when he's like, he put my hand on my stomach where the patch was, where they covered it up. And he's like, "We had to take a little bit of fat out to pad your brain." I was like, "Did you get it all?"
Again, there's zero fat on your
And he's
body.
like,
so it's
"No,
fine.
Georgia, I was busy saving your life." I was like, "Noted, no sense of humor, okay." So back to your question about DJing. Yeah, that is how I learned to DJ. So prior to that, I was in television. I was working on a show for Warner Brothers, which was a live TV show every Saturday morning. Well, we were live sometimes, but anyway, it was shot for every Saturday morning. And my recovery period was quite long. Like from when I was diagnosed, I had to go on medication for about two years to shrink the tumor to a size where they could actually pull it out because it was too
Wow.
big to get in there.
Right.
And so I couldn't work at that time. I had to quit my show. And I'd always talked about wanting to DJ, but never really done it because I was literally told that, "Oh no, girls don't DJ."
Sexism.
That's
a
weird.
no-no.
Why?
That's a no-no.
Like
is a
why?
no-no.
But
We don't
anyway,
like that.
I was told that at the start. And then a friend of mine said to me, "Oh, hey, like you've always been," because he knew about my situation. He knew that I wasn't working and I was pretty depressed, to be honest, because I'd gone from having this great TV show. I was really happy. I felt like I was on this awesome path.
Yeah.
And then, overnight, I went through 3 things. I went through a bad breakup. I got diagnosed with this brain tumor and had to stop working.
Damn.
So like my
But also,
whole
like-
identity was gone.
But also
threat.
the possibility, like
Yeah.
in surgery, like that's life-threatening. You could have died.
I could have died. Yeah.
I
So
get
that's
scared
something.
with anesthesia in general. I think that once you go under, you have zero control. I'm like
Yeah.
a control freak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to not,
Okay.
it's like once you
Learning
go,
so much about you.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
well,
But you learned how to DJ.
yeah,
Yeah, I did. So this friend recognized that I was not in a good way, called me and said, "Hey, look, my business is going really well. I'm winding up my DJ career. You've always talked about wanting to DJ. I think you need a hobby. How about I bring my decks around to your house? I'll show you how to work all the buttons, and then you can just sit there and practice." And I was like, that's awesome. Okay, cool. So he brought his decks around to my house. Back then, it was like computers and like
Yeah.
USBs and all that shit. So he brought around this like giant book of burned CDs, like really high quality music. And so that was how I learned to DJ on this shitty pair of CDJ 800s with cigarette burns in them. and with this giant book of burnt CDs. And I sat at my kitchen countertop for 3 months, just like learning how to beat match.
Sure.
And when I got through the surgery and recovered and started to feel better, my plan was to go back into TV because I really love this kind of thing, you know. But in Australia, there's not a lot of TV opportunities. I was really lucky to get the job that I had. And I was auditioning for stuff, but just nothing was coming through. But at the same time, I was getting offers to go and DJ different events because I had a little bit of a profile because I was, you know, on TV. And one day it just occurred to me, I was like, why am I like fighting so hard against the current here to you know, get back into TV when DJing's really taking off? You know, fuck it. I'm a DJ now. That's what I am. And I did really, really fall in love with it because I've been such a music lover my whole life. I used to go to sleep as a teenager listening to 90s Tiesto trance. That was like so who does that? Me.
That's new for me.
Yeah. Well, I find it kind of
she's
like
sending me songs, by the way. They're great.
No, she's very good.
Great.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm really into like techno, tech house, all that.
But you're good at it. That's the
Thanks.
difference. You're very good at DJing.
I really love it.
I have a question.
Yes.
More of a statement. Question statement. Can we talk about Juan's birthday in Paris when the DJ would not get off the decks and all of us were begging Georgia to take over?
It was uncomfortable.
I'm biased because I'm her best friend and I'm like, I know how she DJs and I'm like, let's get her on. Let's, you know, I want to hear what she's got.
That DJ was not happy with me.
She wasn't very happy. So context, sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
One of our good friends had a birthday in Paris this year, right?
No, last year because we're in 2024.
Right.
Last
year.
Yeah.
So we all flew out for this birthday and beautiful dinner. I love the asparagus. It was delicious. The house was fantastic.
Shanina ruined the chocolate surprise.
She did.
Oh, that was such a good story.
She did.
She was so hungry. She's like, I'm not waiting for the chef to explain what the dessert is. Crack. And like starts eating it.
Yeah.
And the guy comes out and he's like, so this is a chocolate surprise. I'm like, not for Shanina.
No more surprises.
I wasn't surprised for me.
No more surprises.
And if you watch me eating it, wasn't a surprise either.
No, she ruined it.
It was a great dinner. But, you know, we're all, you know, we were all having a good time. It's all of our best friends. We're all a little jet lagged.
Yep.
Our patience was a little lower than usual, I would say. And the DJ was playing music that I would go to sleep to.
Yeah.
Actually. Or maybe elevator music or
Literally
bathroom
me.
music.
Some rain sounds, maybe.
And just nothing that you want to hear when you're drinking. It just wasn't fun. So all of us were just, Shanina was stomping her feet, a little upset.
And putting stuff in a headlock.
And putting me in a headlock.
Yep.
But Georgia got on and saved the party, so thank you.
That
was great.
You're welcome.
Props.
It was a really difficult maneuver because as a DJ, I really understand what it's like. The worst thing that can happen to you is if you get kicked off the decks.
Yeah.
Or if somebody like tries to like take over your set or something like that. I mean, even last night we went out for a little bit.
We're talking about last night?
We'll talk about it a
Georgia
little
got
bit.
me hammered last night. I did not want to go out.
She had you in a headlock.
Literally in a headlock, and was feeding me Don Julio.
Okay.
Drinks, not shots.
Yes, no,
So,
we were sipping.
Sippy cup.
We were sipping.
Sipping out of a
We were
sippy cup.
sipping.
Yeah. No, we did go out for a little bit, but Stafford is involved in the venue that we went to, and the DJ who was there was doing a fantastic job.
Amazing, actually.
But because we're such great friends, Stafford's like, Georgia, get on. And I'm like, you don't get it. Like, I would like to play a couple of songs, but maybe let's wait till the end because, like, this guy does not deserve to go through that. It really is the worst thing that can happen.
She's
to a
very
DJ.
thoughtful, by the way. Very,
Yeah.
very thoughtful. I asked her 3 times. I'm like, Georgia, you don't want to go on?
Has it happened
Or-
to you? That someone's trying to
Early
kick
in
you
my
off the
career,
decks?
yeah, for sure. When I
Yeah,
was
so
shit.
she knows the feeling.
Yeah, it's awful.
I want to switch gears here. Speaking of thoughtfulness, what's the most thoughtful thing a man has done for you, or woman, in your dating life?
That's a good question.
I love the dating conversation. This is where we should bring it.
That's a really good That's a really good
You
question.
take a second to think about it. You can think about it as well.
You know what? I did
Good
have.
question.
Yeah.
I had a really great boyfriend. We had a terrible breakup. He turned into the devil when we broke up. But like,
Where was he from, for context?
this is Australia, back in
course.
Australia.
Good night, mate.
And but our relationship was fantastic and taught me a lot. And he used to do such cute shit. Like, if he would go to work ahead of me, I would come down to my car and he would have written a little love note and stuck it on my windshield. And he used to travel a lot for work. So if I was out with friends, he would find out from my friends which restaurant we were at, and he'd send us bottles of champagne.
Wow.
And just like cute as
Very
hell
thoughtful.
stuff.
Yeah.
And it was just not necessarily like I've had guys buy me really nice presents and stuff, and I'm very grateful, and that's very generous, because who the hell doesn't like getting a nice gift?
Amen.
Right? But
like
it
gifts.
was the little things like the love note on the windshield. Like how awesome is that?
It's a good way to start your day.
Yeah.
The thoughtfulness, right?
That's
The
the
other
best
thing
point.
he would do, which was really cool, and this is such a great tip, and this is absolutely free, is if if we weren't staying together, because he had children, if we weren't staying together, he would make sure he woke up earlier than me so he could write me a really beautiful good morning text. So I would wake up to that.
That's sweet.
That's
Very
great. You know, the last girl I dated was always like, "Will you please send me a good morning text when I wake up?" And I'm like, I would love to if we're on good terms, but it's very hard for me if we're not on good terms.
to express your feelings of like
Does-
doing it
Exactly.
for you.
Does she
Exactly.
want like a good morning or like
no,
good
no.
morning, my love? Da, 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 like,
I started doing poems like "Roses are red, violets are blue. I'm so unhappy I'm not inside you."
Okay.
You know what? I would actually
love
Sorry,
that.
I just
She's
like,
see, that's why I
you
said
know.
the dark humor. She would love that.
You
If
know?
someone
She'd
said
be
that
like,
to me,
yes.
I'd be like, that is amazing and hot.
It's a good way to get
You
a
know?
chuckle, I guess, to start of the day.
You know, I
Yeah.
wanted to wake up with a smile on her
I've
face.
never
Yeah.
had anybody like desire.
You're like, that's-
I'll start sending you some good ones.
I mean, I think.
Yeah. Should we start a group chat? Like good
Yeah.
morning text?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
How
I think-
about you? The most thoughtful thing an individual has done for you.
I
in the
can
dating world?
piggyback off what Georgia said. I think my idea of thoughtfulness is the little things. It's not the gifts, as much as they're great, and also thoughtful gifts. They're great. They're beautiful, and I'm so appreciative of them. It's like the idea of your partner showing up
Absolutely.
and being there for you, even with the little things, the spontaneous things where you've told them about what I like and what I don't like, and they've heard
Yeah.
that
I love
and
that.
listened
Going back
Yeah.
to what you said.
I love that.
and come back around and like shown up when you needed them and asking them.
So important.
So for example, but even just like writing, after I had Zai, my partner, bought me a beautiful push gift. A push gift is like a present to say thanks
Oh, you
for
pushed.
giving life to,
I was thinking of a stroller. Okay, got
Yeah,
it.
well,
I was thinking about pushing the
part's
baby out.
like-
push gift.
And that makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah.
The
That's
push.
the- That's some real
for
shit you went
homing
through.
your child and giving birth to, his child. But and it was a beautiful gift, but it was the card that really had me in tears because
yeah.
it was so thoughtful, but his feelings and how he thought of me and the appreciation he had for me. And things where, example, like we go through bad times like any, relationship or couple, and just being there and working on the relationship shows me like it's the thoughtfulness is like showing up because I want to be there for you.
love
And it's
that.
so important. And little things. Yeah, good morning. Like free tip as well. Like girls like to wake up
Oh, hot.
to like
Yeah,
just like,
like-
and you guys are like, I don't understand that. Some guys are like, I
That was
don't
so
understand.
animated. I love it.
No, guys don't understand like why. It's just
Yeah.
the attention
Yeah.
and the thoughtfulness. I
'Cause
think because women are so nurturing and so loving, and
That is true. And emotional.
we think about everything we do. We're good at like, I think a lot of men, I shouldn't say all men, but a lot of men like have tunnel vision of what they're doing. And women can kind of like do 5 things at once and multitask, but we're always thinking about our partner.
So
And
the-
everything that we do. So to have that little
Yeah.
thoughtfulness of like waking up, especially when you're away and all that, it just brings joy to us.
I love that you're saying the little things. So for me, I think the little things add up to bigger things.
Absolutely.
And when people do not pay attention to the little things, the bigger things never come.
Yeah.
So
Exactly,
I'm
yeah.
100% in agreement with you as I'm learning, as I go through my maturity process. That
You're very mature.
I'm-
I
You
will
Ah, it's how you
Thank you,
build
Shanina. I
intimacy.
appreciate
No, it
that.
is. You said,
Yeah.
the big
Michael
C,
agrees.
the big
You are
C
very
word,
mature.
communication.
Yeah.
and
Not,
comprehension.
not my favorite C word, being
comprehension.
Australian,
You know
but
what the
it's
best
an important one.
thing I've learned about understanding and listening is to listen with the intention to understand rather than
great.
the intention to respond.
What is the most thoughtful thing that you've done for a partner?
The last girl I dated, she would stay the night a lot, and I would just wake up every morning and make her breakfast before
That's
I
sweet.
left
Aw.
for work.
That's cute.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's nice.
Yeah, we like that. Good job.
Something
Yeah.
simple. Because I like to cook. I love to cook, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so for me to go downstairs, whip up some eggs or pancakes or whatever it may be.
Fluffy eggs.
Gotta be.
Fluffy, you know.
Some chicken
Get into
sausage
the
in there.
spirit.
Not dry. Not dry.
Never
Fluffy,
dry.
fluffy, soft,
Always
fluffy.
seasoned.
Yeah, of course. Ready to go in your mouth.
You know. Not like not fertilized, but seasoned. You know, garlic and pepper.
Organic eggs.
How do you like your
Organic,
eggs?
soft, fluffy.
Free range,
Jesus.
free range eggs. No, yeah, I think that was. I don't know. I don't really send a lot of good. I'm not dating anybody right now, so I don't really send a lot
Did
of good
she
morning
tell
texts.
you that she appreciated that?
She did,
Oh, that's
which
good.
was nice to
sweet.
hear.
I
Because
love
I've
that.
dated
Nice.
people before who I've done those things for, and it's just kind of like almost like expected the next morning. It's like,
I think that's the other part of being like giving is also hearing from your partner that it's appreciated.
Feels good.
right.
It feels
It's
good.
important because if you're giving, and like you don't hear about it,
Yeah.
like in the return, you're like, I guess it's in actions as well.
just like
but to
reassurance.
hear reassurance, like I see you doing this and this action, and I appreciate that
Yep.
so much because it brings this to me or these feelings to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to ask you guys a question. It's something that we talked about on our podcast, and I want your take on this.
I'm gonna take a shot.
Take
Take a sip, Shanina.
take a sip.
Cheers.
Take a sip.
I'm out.
Take a sip.
I mean, I finished mine, 15 minutes ago? Okay, my question for you is this. Do you think this statement is true?
Okay.
That men need to feel appreciated?
Yes.
And women need to feel...
Sorry.
Let me finish.
Sorry.
That men need to feel appreciated and women need to feel safe.
Yes, and yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I just wanted your take on it.
and again, I'm going back to me maturing, right? I think that men think very logically and women think very emotionally. And I
Yeah.
think both a male partner and a female partner need to put themselves in those positions to understand where they're coming from.
Yeah.
So I agree. Yes. Yes, the answer is yes.
Yeah.
But
I also think yes and yes. I think that most men in today's society don't want to feel appreciated because they want to be this macho man. They want to do what they think is the right thing based
Real.
off of how we were raised.
And
so,
society, what
yeah,
society-
to society and to their guy friends, and that's on other men as well, to not shame your bro whenever he's disclosing his love for a woman,
Yeah.
or talking about his feelings. But I think that men do desire to feel appreciated, but we don't talk about it. Like if like,
should.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I love being the little spoon.
I love that.
I'll be the little
yeah.
spoon.
By the way,
Little
same.
I want to be held.
My brother.
I want to be held.
I love
Yeah.
that.
I want to be safe too.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but I
Yeah.
also know that it's like, you guys want
Yeah.
to be safe as well. So I do think that yes, it's yes and yes.
I have a thing. I feel like I see guys go out and they're like, yeah, bro, like, hey, let's go. Like, you're being, and it's great. But then when you're at home, they're like, baby, fix me food. I'm sick. Oh, baby.
I see those memes all the
hug me.
time. Yeah.
I'm sad.
Every
And I was like, do the boys know you do this?
Yeah.
Okay, well girls, give
my hair,
Yeah.
my
the
body.
audience give the audience some advice. It's very hard dating out here nowadays with social
That's
media.
what I was gonna
Yeah.
go next.
And especially with like, I'm going to generalize for a second. Us all living in major cities
Yeah.
is very difficult. Like
It
people
is.
don't understand.
I'm laughing because sorry, I'm laughing because after I had like one of my breakups, like I've been divorced before, and then I had another relationship, and that was like, so I was at my breaking point, and I was like, relationships suck. Like
Yeah.
I've gone down to ground zero. It was just like, it was bad. And then my girlfriend, one of our friends, it was just like, it's time for you. I think it's time for you to go online dating. It's time for you to go on Raya. And when
Raya's
she
the devil.
when she
The
said that,
devil.
when she
Ron,
said
I
that,
think it's the devil.
I started crying.
Who was our mutual friend that told
I
you to do
started
that?
crying. I was like, this is my life now. I'm like, online dating. I can't be. And I was so upset. I was like, this is what I got to do. I'm going to put myself out there on online because it's not how I work. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like meeting people and having that connection of meeting somebody, and I'm not against online dating. I think it cuts the chase, and also with like society today and how people work and the time frame, and it's very different. But for me, in my experience, like I wanted to have the experience of meeting someone,
Hell yeah.
I guess serendipity, like destiny, or just like getting to know you, going on dates.
Yeah.
And not being on online dates. But I cried. I was so Sarah was
Oh, Sarah.
Yeah,
Sarah loves karaoke, by the way, guys.
Yeah, she
loves
does.
karaoke.
she's very good at
Sarah's
it.
She'll take all the microphones.
She's openly like talked about meeting her partners on Raya. She's like she's met one or two guys on Raya. That was
Yeah.
My
successful.
girlfriend of 8 years, Raya.
Yeah.
Raya, yeah.
I know a lot of people that got married from Raya.
Yeah.
A lot of my girlfriends are married or engaged. Actually, one of my girlfriends just got engaged over Christmas. met a
Yeah.
guy on online dating.
Yeah.
So it's not like
It's not the
just,
devil.
It's not the devil.
No.
I
It
just don't like
worked for a lot of
putting the
people.
pictures up and the soundtrack, and it sounds
Yeah.
so like it's so
Does anyone listen to the
cheese,
music? I
right?
don't.
Because
Like,
you're always going to choose your best pictures. No one's
of
going
course,
to like.
we do
Yeah.
not look like this.
I know,
Yeah, you're always
put,
gonna
some
catfish
really
people.
rough selfies on there just so you get a full 360 scope.
Oh, you're a handsome guy, dude. I don't see any bad selfies.
I wake up
Let's
early
go.
sometimes.
I'll
What
tell you
about
why
Georgia?
I don't like Raya. I mean, I think it's definitely got its place. It's worked for a lot of people. And not just Raya, sorry, all of them. I have dated, my last couple of relationships, the people who I've ended up in relationships with, I haven't met them on Raya, but they've been on Raya. I knew that they were on Raya. And I've seen their profiles on Raya before, and I clicked no. Like, I wouldn't, if I saw their profiles on Raya, I wouldn't have said yes to them. But because I met them in a social situation, I actually was like, yo, this person's really cool. Like, I want to,
How about this? Let me ask you this. How many times have you connected with someone on Raya when you guys were single and never messaged them and it expired? That is literally my life.
98%
Every single time.
of the time.
It's insane how many times that you
I was
will
literally on
match
there
with
for a
someone on
month.
Raya
Yeah.
I was off on my
and it will
ride.
expire before either
Yeah.
person engages.
Because
Yeah.
I don't know. Why don't we reach out?
I'm nervous.
But I
you know?
think it's-
just
I don't know
wanna
what
be
to
the first-
say. I say
Don't
hi.
they all go to your Instagram handle anyway?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, I saw you on Raya.
Yeah.
Wrap things up here. How are you entering 2024 without being too like?
I just want to
Super.
be without putting any pressure on myself because especially with our brand, 80/20, I don't believe in perfectionism.
Can you tell me what 80/20 means?
Yeah, absolutely. So when Shanina and I decided to do our podcast and our wellness platform, because it's not going to be just a podcast, we're doing all sorts of other stuff with the business. When we discussed what wellness meant to us, we're very aligned. We're not perfect. We don't want to pretend to be perfect. You know, like we both really believe in balance. And so what we noticed when we looked at other wellness, I hate the word influencers, but I can't think of another one right now. Other wellness content creators is that their lives are seemingly perfect.
Yeah.
That's not us. That's not most people.
That's no one, by the way.
Right.
But it's not realistic.
Exactly
And it's not a
correct.
reality to
Thank you.
withheld for every day.
Exactly what I'm
Right.
saying.
How can you do that every day?
Amen. Amen, sister.
Maybe they can,
Yeah.
we can't, most people can't.
I can't.
Right. So we wanted to make wellness both attainable for people. We also wanted to make it accessible for everybody because I think wellness is actually kind of elitist. Like when you look at all these modalities that these wellness influencers have in their lives, they're bloody expensive. And you know, and
But
that's
getting up
great.
in the morning, sorry to cut you off.
Not at
babe.
all, yeah.
But getting up in the morning and taking a moment to breathe and stretch and check in with yourself and ask, how am I feeling today? Journal.
Yeah.
Like even
That's
if
free.
that's free.
Mental
Yeah.
health, guys.
It's mental
real.
health,
Yeah.
It's
and
real.
that's wellness. It's not going to Air One and getting,
Yeah.
spending
$35
$150 on
beverage.
3 items. And no offense to Air One, I think it's bloody great. 'cause
We
it's
love
like,
Air One.
Great
we love
marketing,
Air
Hailey
One.
Bieber. The Hailey Bieber shake.
But it's, the reality is that wellness can be affordable, and it is, but also taking the pressure off the perfectionism that we're trying to achieve every day. Because once you think you're going to hit perfection, you always want something else.
So
Yeah.
true. So amen.
And it's also okay. It's okay to not be 100%. Not everyone's going to be 100%.
Never.
Ever in
Right.
this
It's
life.
impossible.
No, you're going to make mistakes. You are not your mistakes. But also,
I'm touched right now. This sounds like
yeah,
me.
you're doing the
So
right
good.
thing. babe.
You are. You
Warming
are.
my heart,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, but I also feel like a form of wellness is sometimes going out with your friends and having a fun night out.
Absolutely.
Letting
Like
loose.
it is. Like
Listen,
I had a great
it's just-
time with you last night. We had a ball.
It was insane. I didn't even eat anything at dinner, but it was so much fun.
I ate for you at dinner.
By the way, we had a boys dinner last night.
Yeah.
Georgia was the only female there,
Yeah.
and girls were texting her from other tables. How do I get to sit with 9 cute guys, Georgia? True? True.
True. I
Okay.
did get
Yeah.
a text because it was literally I was invited to boys' night, which by the way, so honored.
By the way, whenever you want. It was a
Thanks.
blast.
I love boys' night.
Yeah.
So I got invited to dinner with all the boys, and I had a girlfriend at another table who texted me. He's like, "Yo, how do I sit at a table with 9 hot guys?" I'm like, "Oh no, I'm just really lucky."
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and everybody at the table was cute, by the way, like very cute.
Oh, thank you.
So, yeah.
How about you, Shania? How are you entering 2024?
I actually had a really bad year last year.
Why do you say that?
I had a very bad year. I actually had a meeting this morning with my manager, and I was talking about the struggle I had. I was dealing with postpartum depression. I think everything in my life and category, I was being tested from money, work, body, mental health, everything. And I was trying to be my best person, especially when I just had a baby. How can you be your best when all of this is being tested?
Yeah, you put a lot of pressure on yourself.
Yeah.
Not even the pressure, it's just like, I think even I'm very spiritual in the sense of like the universe was testing me in some way. And I think what I take away from that is it had to get so bad for me to see change. Oh, I want to change.
Fair.
And be like, okay, this is not going to happen for the new year. So going into the new year, I think it's being open to living in the present and just working on myself and taking it as it comes, but also learning the lessons from last year. And that's really important. I think focusing on yourself, more importantly, is just like when you focus on yourself and love yourself, you're always going to be the best for others and in your relationships
Okay,
as well.
I love that you just said that. And to finish, be present, first of all. I have a tattoo that says be present.
Where is it?
It's one of these arms, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
And then to add being present, if you are not a positive version of yourself, you cannot have a positive relationship.
Yeah, talk
Agreed.
to
You see how
yourself
far
first.
I've come, by the way? This is all turning a new leaf.
I was like,
You're
I'm
killing
learning
it.
so much.
You heard
from
it
that.
first.
Talk
Yeah.
nice to yourself. Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
I just, so I love everything you just said. It's so true. And also dealing with like the chemical imbalances of having a baby must be nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so-
it's a different stage of life because once you have a baby, you know, you become their sole provider. Like
Right.
you take care of them. Like we provide the milk. Like it was another thing too. It's like we give birth and like God decided like men are not going to give milk because I'm here giving milk and doing nurturing, caring. And my partner was like, he's like, I want to help you, but I can't even like provide milk and like take the time off of you so you can
Yeah.
He
sleep.
just cleans the house. and
Yeah,
does all
it's,
the other
everything's
things.
on the woman,
Yeah.
you know, at the time. So it's a lot to go through because, yeah, it was a rough year. But
Especially
I'm
when you
so
work.
and I'm
Yeah.
trying to be like, you know, my job is to be in front of the camera as well.
right.
But
Right.
I didn't. That's one thing I'm really proud of myself. I would say is like not putting the pressure on me to bounce back. I don't believe in this bounce back body that women need to have. It's like you just given birth. Like take the time.
human
the
being
stress
has come out of your body.
yeah,
It's
like,
take,
no,
take
yeah.
the stress away. When you have stress, and anything, if you have stress, whatever it may be, even not even having birth, it does things to your body, like and your brain. It could be like aches in your shoulders, whatever it may be. So you don't want to have stress or feel the stress because also, and what happens then? People around you feel that energy
Oh, they
as
definitely
well,
feel it,
especially with
for
a
sure.
baby.
Yeah.
And it changes, and especially it changes your milk
Yeah.
when you're
Right.
breastfeeding. So
Oat or almond milk?
Body milk.
almond. Oat is bad.
Okay.
Although
Oh, wait.
I can't have almond milk,
Wait.
actually.
Is-
but-
What's written on your latte?
That's
though?
why-
And
exactly.
that's my fault because Shanina used to. I'm sorry.
Oh my nerve!
No, because
It's a milk
she hasn't
fiasco.
It is
updated
crazy
me
over here.
on this because Shanina was like oat all the way, and I was like, oat's full of seed oils, babe. But like, you didn't update
And when we
me
go
on this
to
change.
we're Australian, we're like oat, and they're like
Oat?
what?
I just know the nerve.
Okay,
I love no. When you
Art?
say no.
so I'm
Oats.
glad I know that now. So next time I get you an almond
an almond
latte.
milk,
Okay,
yeah.
good.
Since it's 2024,
I have one question.
to
You
know-
told me.
I have a
I'm sorry.
I have a question to finish our conversation, which has been amazing. Thank you for coming.
delightful.
This is for the people. This is not for us.
Okay.
Have you guys ever had any crazy celebrity experiences, possibly in Europe, Shanina, that went all over the press with any pop singers or anything?
What do you mean?
Or
I just remember that like Justin Bieber
Oh God.
press article that came out back in the day when they made it look like you guys left this gala together. Like, how do you deal with like the bullshit rumors that are not
It
true?
is. It's so ridiculous. I read so. Oh, I will say this actually. This is really funny. First of all, that's not true. There is so
Not true.
many things that I read on the press, and I was like, where do they get this? Or they just. It was like it was a quiet day in the press, and I'll give you an example. I think it was 2021, and it was like just after like the pandemic, people were like starting to do like parties again, and Richie had like an Oscars after party thing
I
that we
was
all
gonna
went
say
to.
this.
Richie
Yeah.
throws some good parties, guys.
Yeah,
The
he
guy
Yeah,
does a
they
good
do,
job.
and we're great supporters, and we've known them since living in New York
course.
and modeling and whatever it may be. And I was with Sarah. Sarah and I were like, let's go to
Hold
another.
on, I was there too. Don't cut me
yeah,
out. Yeah.
I met you at the other party.
No.
No, and so Sarah and I were like, Sarah wanted to leave and go to another party. I'm like, sure. As we're leaving, Drake turns up.
The Drake?
Casual.
Yeah. The
Drake.
Yeah.
You know,
We're
another night.
leaving. We go to another party. We
Zero
go, and I actually
interaction.
Georgia, and we go to another party. We leave that other party that we decided to go to, and we get papped, and we go home. It was like that was our night. The next morning, on Daily Mail, it says Sarah and Shanina Shaik party with Drake at an Oscars party, and they have the pictures of us walking out of the other party, pap shots,
Yeah.
and then have the pictures of Drake walking
Yeah.
into the other party.
Wow.
And they put it together.
And they just decide
Yep.
to like,
They were bored.
I hate that.
yeah.
Zero
And I was like,
interaction.
didn't have any interaction,
No.
didn't even see him, didn't even like, no interaction, no connection, nothing. I'm like, oh, you know what I mean? It's just like, it was crazy. And of course I had to tell like my partner, no, I didn't party with Drake. I went home, I texted you, I'm like, it's stupid.
The things I see also.
It's annoying.
Is just like. It's
And it
just all
happens a lot.
bullshit.
It's
random.
bull crap.
It's crazy.
No.
Yeah.
It's random. Well, we want to thank you guys so much for spending your Saturday morning or early afternoon with us.
Yes. It's afternoon, guys.
It's afternoon. Yes,
You are most
morning.
welcome. Thank you for having
Yes,
us.
Thank
of course.
you.
Please let listeners know where they can find your guys' podcast, 8020.
Yes, so our social media handle on every platform is at 8020pod, and it's spelled out, the words 8020pod. And then, Shanina and I also have Instagram.
Across all handles, YouTube,
Yep.
Spotify, Instagram.
Daily Mail.
Yeah.
Daily Mail.
Daily Mail. Yeah.
And I don't even talk about my Instagram handle. Shanina
Google
Shaik.
it. You guys will find them.
Shanina
Yeah.
Shaik.
We love you guys.
Sinclair, Shanina Shaik.
Thank you so
So,
much.
Thank
less stress
you.
in 2024.
Let's go.
Absolutely.
Yes, cheers to that.
Thank
Love
you.
it. Thank you so much.